Welcome to the Biscuit Boys show on Sports Radio Birmingham with him, Mrs. Brown, and me, the Gabby Cabby. Brought to you by JS Spooner and supporting Super Josh's charity and Cam's Cuddles in association with We Are Distinct. On tonight's show we have music by The Specials, Madness and Merrymouth, plus a hell of a lot more, and regular features, The 400 Club, Twitter Time, Agony Uncles, Yesterday's Papers, Channel 4 or Channel 5 and Panthers Picks. Joining us in the studio tonight is Geoff Scott from Expro. But as always, let's get kicked off with one from Weller in conjunction with Protect. It's Peacock Suit. Take it away, God.
I've got a grapefruit matter. It's a sour shit. I have no solutions. But get used to it. I don't need a ship to sail in stormy weather. Don't need you to ruffle the feathers of my peacock suit. A peacock suit. All my sisters in a puddle. The shop windows are closed. Like a ball of fleece lining in my camel skin coat. I don't need a ship to sail in stormy weather. I don't need you to ruffle the feathers of my peacock suit. Did you think I should? My peacock suit. I look real cute.
That was Peacock Suit by Paul Weller. How are you, mate?
Fine, thanks, yeah.
Yeah, what kind of week have you had?
It's been okay. Oh, look, Peacock Suit. It's still going on, you know.
Yeah,
Soup. I always thought it's Peacock Soup, you know.
Well, you would, because you're pretty good with soups, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, you can eat. There must be such thing as Peacock Soup.
I suppose there is, really. I mean, like, it's game, innit? Game soup.
Yeah, I want to try some.
No, you've tried your mushroom soup, haven't you? So I'll probably not.
Probably not the same effect.
You wouldn't, well, it wouldn't really, would it?
Nah.
I don't think there's any hallucinogenic things in peacock.
Nah, there's
well,
no.
I suppose there could be.
Yeah, we'll try it.
In conjunction, we have to say every week, with Protect.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to know more about Protect, go to our website and you'll get the links.
Yeah.
How do people go to our website?
Ever so easy.
Tell me.
www. No, that's the one that's easy. That's the easy bit.
Why do people say that these
You don't
days?
have to say it, you don't
no,
have to say
no,
it.
I don't know. Why do people
No.
say it?
Should we not say anymore?
No, 'cause it's pointless.
Okay, then it's sports-radio.co.uk.
Yeah.
And if you want to listen to one of our shows we've done before,
Yeah.
what's the word I'm looking for?
Done before.
Just click on the link above, which says, ironically, Listen again.
Blimey, that's great, isn't it?
That's difficult.
You are genius.
Oh, no.
And also on this show, I have to say that we've got an exclusive from the Guvnors
We've got an exclusive.
that is premiering in London as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
But 2 days prior, in Birmingham, at the Cineworld on Broad Street, we had the first screening of the Guvnors after, and people all say, no, they didn't, because it was at the Edinburgh Film Festival it was on, but Birmingham, that was the first screening after the Edinburgh Film Festival. And on the Tuesday, they'd done a private screening also in Nottingham.
So I'm
Birmingham
guessing
come
there's
first.
a lot of other radio stations there, and
No, there's no one there.
just us.
I think that's a problem with Birmingham. You know, if you was going to have, say, One Direction and some, these sellout type of things that you have on sellout type of thingy radio in this great city of ours, they'd be all the way from Broad Street, probably down to John Bright Street. But when you have proper films like The Guvnors, and proper people like Barrington, and proper people like Cass and Gabe Turner that wrote it and directed it, sometimes these people don't come to the party. But when they see how fantastic The Guvnors is, and my prediction is this is going to be the biggest blockbuster movie of 2014.
Really?
Yeah. But we're going to talk about that at length,
later.
a hell of a lot more. So let's invite the world into our Momangia.
Here we are in the monkey house, we've taken all our clothes off. Here we are in the soundproof room, making all the noise you want to hear. Big egg, small egg, anything at all, I play in arcades just till the lights go down. We're gonna be rich tonight, we're gonna be huge. We're gonna be rich tonight, we're gonna be na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na, yeah. Here we are in the monkey house, we're taking all our clothes off. Here we are in the soundproof room, making all the noise you want to hear. Big ape, small ape, anything at all, like playing arcades just till the lights go down. We're gonna be rich tonight, we're gonna be huge. We're gonna be rich tonight, we're gonna be na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na, na-na-na-na-na. Me, grab, grab, grab. Me, grab, grab, grab. Welcome to the We're gonna be huge. We're gonna be rich tonight. We're gonna be huge. Whoa!
We're gonna... Hey, I forgot to... where are we off to this weekend here, by the way?
We're going to go to Lima.
You're looking at me as if I don't know where Lima is.
Would I
Come on.
insinuate that?
Well, yeah, I think you're looking that I don't know where Lima is. How confident are you
Oh.
in me not knowing where Lima is?
I'm confident that you should know.
I do know.
Yeah, where is it?
Is it?
Hold on.
Hey,
Why is that stuff?
What did I just say to you?
You said Peru, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of half said Brazil and Peru.
No,
I was
no,
going to
no.
get you jumping around.
No.
It
So
is
how
in
come that's
Peru.
embedded in your brain?
Peru.
Yeah,
It's
how
capital
come you
Peru.
know that one? Because you're
Because-
not usually any good at capitals, are you?
Yeah, I actually am quite good at capitals, and that's only because football. You know, so I used to like, you know, where you get all these teams that qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when you play the old European, like, the European Cup.
Yeah.
I was really good in geography at knowing where capitals of places are.
Yeah, I used to like that as well. It's my
Because of
favourite.
football teams that I just watched on the telly. And that's the only reason. Yeah. Talking of Europe, not us. Where am I going?
Oh, I've no idea.
I ain't going back to Lima,
No.
you know.
Nutters and
Hey, we
suckers.
better get Lima up on the website as well, because we fly to all these destinations everywhere. And the last time we gave them a shout was when we went to Greenland.
No, but there again we have.
Can you remember?
No,
You can't, can you?
it's got a strange.
I've just
funny
remembered.
name.
The penny's just dropped in
Oh, is
my
it?
brain. Yeah.
Okay.
Come
Give us
on.
the first letter.
No.
No. Oh. No.
Yeah, no. And the last letter's K.
Oh, Nook.
Nuke, yeah.
Nuke, that's it,
yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
done well there, didn't
Great
you?
name. Population of 120,000.
Yeah, not many.
Yeah, that was it.
And the volcano's going to go up as well, isn't it?
That's Iceland. It's a completely different place.
It's by Greenland, you know.
That's a bit left, isn't it? A bit left to.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, the way the wind's blown, because it's northerly and it's blown it down, and that's why we're cold at the moment.
Yeah.
You know. Anyhow, I did mention suckers. I want to get onto the ice bucket challenge as well. What do you reckon about Brussels?
I never used to eat them all the time, right? I used to.
Give you wind, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I like them I don't like them rawish. I like them really, really soggy.
Oh, you joke.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, put some butter on them.
I thought you was going to have a butter, yeah.
Yeah, go butter on them. Oh, lovely.
I like them
Little
crunchy.
tiny ones. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I like a lot of things crunchy. I like me kind of greens crunchy. And also I like vegetables put in the oven. And like ovened. You know, like how you cook them oven.
Yeah. Have you ever tried putting them in a bag in an oven?
What, like a black bag? It melt, wouldn't it?
No, you
What,
put your vegetables in a bag and get these polythene bags that you put in the oven and all the juices. Right?
Tell you what, we could use our green bags at the council, ain't
Yeah, although
because there's still garden waste all around Birmingham.
Yeah, I'd take the garden waste out first.
Oh, and then put the vegetables in.
Yeah, because it might taste a bit funny.
A bit earthy. Well, that's where they come from, didn't it, really? Vegetables. Oh, they're that of Westminster. And Brussels, talking about vegetables, back onto these clowns. Brussels bans our favourite powerful vacuums.
That's right.
Because we're killing the environment.
We're going to be stuffed, aren't we?
Yeah. We're going to have to get down on our hands and knees sucking the stuff up.
Yeah, and I think below 1,000 watts.
Yeah, but like, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this. On a scale of 1 to 10, how stupid is it?
10.
Yeah. Now, what gets me in Europe is that we can't have vacuums over what is it now from the 1st of September? So it's like next week. What is it? 1,000. It's got to be less than 1,000.
Yeah. Or was it 900?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Because we're killing the planet. We're killing this part of, you know. I mean, the fact that volcano is going to erupt over Iceland is going to do bugger all damage there, is it? You know. And also the fact that we did say at the top of the show with the European Cup, where you get the champions or the winners go into next competition and they play games. Now they've got the European Champions League, so they've got planes flying here, there and everywhere, every week, every kind of like Wednesday, and the Europa League as well. So they've got all these aeroplanes flying all around Europe, but you know what? They're doing bugger all to the planet. They're doing absolutely absolutely nothing without emission. But you having your vacuum on for 10 minutes a day, some people, not even that, you're destroying the planet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I say about that?
Oh, but it's not very complimentary.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I thought I might have said that.
And also, Westminster need to grow a pair and have a word with these. Or close down Westminster, have it as asylum seekers home or something.
Yeah.
Couldn't I really?
Yeah.
I bet the Queen would love that.
Yeah.
Right next door to her.
Well, maybe not.
Should we play a song?
Okay.
What are we going to have? What are we going on first?
I'm not going to tell you.
Because I just heard a car door.
All right,
and I reckon
okay.
our guests arrived.
Okay, then, well, shall we play? I'll tell you what we'll get off with.
Come on, who are you getting off with?
I'm going to get off with...
Have you got off with anyone?
No, nothing.
Nah.
We're going to get off... Oh, no, we don't want to get off with that.
Talking about getting off with, your missus made some lovely flapjacks.
They're nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've been watching that bit to see if you're going to eat it.
You were going to pound for it.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
You were. Come on.
We're going to get off with the Brigantes.
The big aunties, let's have it.
Yeah, you like it. Go on.
I was lost and I needed hope. I thought my life was a joy like most folk. 16 and dreaming away. I wanted reassuring it would be okay. Where were you when I needed proof that I was part of a misguided youth? And I was sitting in the pit of my mind, staring at the ceiling, and I struggled to find just how I'm feeling.
So pick it back and don't start a racket. It's coming from the underground and play a new sound. Pick it back and gonna start a racket. Listen to Brigadier style, here we have found. Wise man come and he tell her the truth. I want the ears of the misguided. You say you come out the top and you hop and you cough and you say you want proof. If it gets my point across, I'll shout it from the roof. I'm falling through a pitch black sky. Mindless chases leading nowhere in my mind. I try to run but I can't escape. I try to run but I think it's too late. Where were you when I needed proof that I was part of a misguided youth? And I was sitting in the pit of my mind, staring at the ceiling, and I struggle to find just how I'm feeling. So pick it back and don't start a racket. Coming from the underground and play a new sound. Pick it back, you're gonna start a racket. Listen to Brigadier style, here we are found. That we found. That we found. You started a racket and you can't hack it. So you wanna pick packets. I told you not to start, I told you not to start, I told you not to start a racket, racket. So pick it back, it don't start a racket. Coming from the underground and play a new sound. Pick it back, it gonna start a racket. Listen to Brigadier style, here we have found. That we found. That we found.
That was the Brigantes racket. Do you think it's about a racket or is it about tennis?
I don't know, but it's not
about-
a racket. It's a good trick.
You see, I love the English vocabulary. You know, words, dictionary, and stuff like that. You're going to just get the door for our guests finally arrived. Hi, Scott. Here he is, Geoff Scott from Expro. Tom, how are you? No, you can sit down, mate. We're into the show. We'll just get over to you shortly in a memento. Racket, you know, there's so many words. You was talking to me the other day because you couldn't understand there, could you? Like, you know, you say racket. Racket can mean, like, it's a racket or a tennis racket. But you get mistaken and mixed up with there, don't you?
Oh, yes, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Come on,
I do.
tell me about it.
Well, what's the difference between there?
Loads.
No, I'm really surprised
I know
at you
you
now
are.
because you're not that bright, are you?
I was quite good at English.
Oh, okay. And then there's there.
Well, you
Theire.
You didn't think there was spelled Thare, did
And why
you?
can't we just have one?
Because it means different things, and that's what I'm saying with racket and racket.
Right.
Spelt differently, said the same. Read, read.
Yeah.
There are so...
Reading FC. Reading FC.
Exactly. But there's so many words. The English language must be really, really difficult for people to pick up and understand, because there are various meanings of words that are spelt very similar but said exactly the same. See there with the IR, which is the only one you thought was in the vernacular.
Yeah.
That's
vernacular.
like, it's kind of about ownership, isn't it? It's there, it's yours, it's there, you know. There, they are, with the apostrophe, you know, they are over there. And there is like, it's there, you know what I mean?
And Jeff's thinking, what have I come
Jeff's
into?
thinking, God, I'm going back to have my car washed again. Anyhow, let's
Got more sense out of there, anyway.
Well, absolutely. Scotty from Expro. We go back years.
We do indeed.
Ironically, you was just having your car washed and that. We met over a car, didn't we, when I was a boy?
We did, actually, yes. You came to... we was training at the old Damson Lane for Birmingham City, and you came there, and I think the ground was particularly poor that day, and I think Ron Saunders asked us to go and train up at the Rover ground.
That's right, yeah.
And so a whole load of supporters who'd come to watch us train were going to be disappointed because they got no transport, you included.
Yeah, I was there.
And I said, come on, jump in with me, I'll take you up.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And that was it with Byron Stevenson and you, and I've
That's
never
the late
forgotten
Byron
that
Stevenson,
to this day.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get that now with the professional player, would you? And I think sadly that's the way the game has gone. As a supporter and as a young lad, you're keen, you want to watch your heroes train, you're gutted. Oh God, where the hell are you? And I can't jump in, some will take you round. That's just different class.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't get in the training grounds today.
Again,
Let alone
that's
get in the
another
cars,
thing,
so,
Jeff, as well. Why is that so? And as a professional player, how do you look at that? Because we want to get into the nuts and bolts about what you're doing with Expro and bits of your career. We are going to meet up over a beer, and I'm going to do an on the back seat with you, so
Great.
we'll delve into it more deeply.
Yeah, I think it's all become for me a little bit sad. Whichever club I personally played at, I always had an affinity with the supporters.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, I'm a Blues fan, so it was very easy for me to understand the psyche and and what it means to support the club. But in them days, the supporters were very close to the team and very close to the club. And it seems that as years gone on and our money and money's come into the game, there's been the void has got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I think very difficult now for anyone to relate to the mind of a professional footballer, indeed managers.
And also, they like to keep other people out that may be coaches, that may be spying on what teams are doing in training as well. I mean, famously, there's been like aircrafts flying over training grounds, and I mean, it gets ridiculous. Because as a player, I mean, surely I know that you do tactics, and I know that in your days under the many managers that you played under, they'd give you a talking to, you'd have some kind of tactics. These days, it's almost like a school master. There's like a book with so much information on. When you see a player being substituted, they're flicking over the pages and that, and they're telling the player they've got to do this, make this run. I mean, it just seems to be just too scientific for me now these days.
You've almost answered it.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't get that. You see a substitution made and then there's a chart comes out and it's almost saying, well, if you're a right winger, you kick it with your right foot, and for crying out loud. I mean, my first manager, Tony Waddington at Stoke City, I made my debut at Old Trafford, away from home, in a good, decent Stoke side, played out a position in my first game, and his words to me was, just go out and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think what's happened in the modern game, I think people are almost justifying their positions. You look at my era, and I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying it was the right thing to do. I really don't know. But you had the manager, you had the assistant manager, and you had a first team coach.
Yeah,
that was it. Now there's an entourage of, the left foot coach, the right foot coach, the fullback coach, the forward coach, the this coach. There are that many people on the coaching staff. I'm just wondering whether it confuses people.
I think it does, and like, you know, you've got the kind of the dietitian, you've got the physiotherapist, you've got the sports scientist.
That's a whole new ball.
Oh, God.
Mel Eves said to me, I was talking to Mel Eves last week, and he said, Scotty, our game has been hijacked.
I agree.
The game we played has been hijacked. And you know what? You can dismiss that comment, but have a look. You know, there's. You know, I go into clubs now and I see ex-pros coaching the community side.
Correct.
And I see accountants and school teachers and everybody else coaching the first team and all the rest of it. There doesn't seem to be that continuity that there was in my day.
I had one of my first rows at, surprisingly enough, at Wastles. And Big Bob Latchford was one of the...
Bob Latchford, you mean?
I mean, exactly, Latchford sausages. But Bob, I mean, Bob's a hero. I mean, one of the greatest centre-forwards ever to play for Birmingham. And there was this coach at the time who's gone on and he's done relatively well, but, you know, he's like the new kind of coach. And I said to him, I said, I'm being funny, mate, but what the hell can you tell a centre-forward that Bob Latchford can't tell? And if I'm that centre-forward, I'm listening to Bob Latchford. I ain't listening to you and your manual and all the rest about your opinions. I'm listening to someone that's cut it, that's done it, and he's an absolute legend, and I can't believe he ain't doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, listen, I have personal experience of that. One of our ambassadors at Expro is Andrew Cole, or Andy Cole. He's quite a complex character.
Do you mean the legend that's Manchester United?
Yeah, he's one of our ambassadors, and I spent pretty much a whole day up at Mottram Hall with Andy, and I asked, I said, you know, what are you doing? And he said, well, I've got all my badges. He said, but I can't get a job in football. Now, this guy's the second highest goal scorer in Premier League history. Yeah. What I would say is, in my opinion, probably the most natural goal scorer.
I agree with that as well.
He was a natural finisher, and he can't get a job. Now, for me, that's something's wrong there. Yeah. When this, you know, and the top scorer in Premier League history, Alan Shearer, is a pundit. You know what, these guys should be involved in the clubs. Yeah. And you know, look at our own club here, Birmingham City. At least Clarkey's got some ex-footballers on his coaching staff, but Kevin Broadhurst, Mark O'Connor, you know, Skip, all these guys are coaching the community team. They should be coaching the under-18s, the under-19s, the 21s, the development. They should be imparting some of their knowledge on the new breed, and that's not happening in football.
I think it was Dev that was telling us. I mean, if it wasn't Dev, will correct me, because I love Devlin. I mean, I'd love. I mean, like, I know you're big mates at Clarkey. Yeah. You know, but the next manager, because managers have got shelf lives. You move on as a manager, you get another gig, whether you're sacked or whether you move on. But I would love one day for Paul Tate and Paul Devlin to manage Birmingham City. You've absolutely got no chance. There's more chance of juggling Sut.
Well, it'd be interesting, because if the crowd got on, they'd go in and beat the crowd up, wouldn't they, them Peters?
Well, the thing is, what I'm trying to angle at, Geoff, is in the modern game, there's not that room for people that are opinionated, that will say it as they see it. Football likes people that likes to tell them yes. And people that will say it and call it like they do, they tend to not get on, unless, guys, you want to water it down a little bit. And that's what, to be fair, I mean, when Lee come into Birmingham, I was really hoping that Clarkey was going to do it, because I watched him on Soccer AM and he was on the settee, and his hero was Brian Clough, and he was saying what player would frighten you, and he says, well, me. I'm the only player I'd be frightened of, because I was a right little when I was a player, and I still to this day I really hope that Lee Clark turns it around. And
I think the problem we got, Paul, is we don't know what constraints he's having to work
exactly.
under. And you know, I'm pally with him. We have a beer now and again, and I keep my distance. I don't share my opinions with him too much, because I think he's got 20,000 people sharing their opinions with him. We don't know what constraints he's under. What I do know is, I know he gets as frustrated as we all do, with what he can and what he can't do. I do know that, and he does wear his heart on his sleeve, which is an attraction Certainly to me, I think
Yeah.
he's a good. And we have to look at what he did before. He took a very, very ordinary Huddersfield Town team. They got a record number of, ironically, record number of unbeaten home games, and he took them from obscurity almost into a championship side, and they're okay, and they've sustained that. I think with a fair wind, I think he'd do okay, and I think he's the type of manager that the fans would warm to. But he's got a tough gig, isn't he?
Oh, the
toughest,
toughest probably, if I'm honest.
He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he don't. And knowing him as I do, he must be absolutely spitting feathers about the result at the weekend, because to go to a place like Brentford, 10 men against 10 men. With the firepower the Blues have got, should have won that. And I watched the lad. Listen, I was a bit of a calamity myself at times, but I watched the lad try and bring the ball down in the 90th minute, and he should have gone in row X. Yeah, just boot it at that stage in the game. He tried to play. Okay, you can't take that out of people sometimes, but again, it's experience and it's learning, and I'm sure they'll work on that this week.
But again, it's like, I used to coach kids. And I'd tell him, Zed it. When it's like that, you Zed it. If you... And I like my centre-halves. I don't know you was a centre-half. I like my centre-halves to be defenders.
Yes.
You're defenders.
You're a defender first.
Exactly.
That's what you are.
If you can bring it down and play it, great. But Sir Matt Busby famously said, didn't he, like to Styles, who was a little ratter, your job is to win the ball.
Yeah.
As soon as you win the ball... Give it to someone like Bobby Charlton that can play football. But that's the game, isn't it? And I don't like centre-halves. Paul Marden was a prime example at Birmingham.
Yeah.
He thought he was a midfield player rather than the centre-half.
Yeah.
Centre-half first. Again, if you can bring the ball out and make the play and keep it on the floor and keep that ball rolling, absolutely fantastic. But you've got to do the simple things in a simple game properly.
Absolutely. As I said, you're a defender first, and when I coached in non-league football when I first retired, there was a couple of centre halves who it's amazing in non-league football, the centre halves always think they can play, and we got to, and I just said to the one lad who was, I'm 6'2", this lad was a couple of inches taller than me, and he'd obviously been around a bit, and he could handle himself. But I said to him, if I ever see you bring the ball down again, I said, I'll take it off the pitch and I'll knock 7 sorts out of you. You just don't do that in that situation. Get rid. And then we regroup and then we start again. And again, that's experience. Imparting experience onto people, and I just question, there's too many kids leaving the game, and then for me they're not given a chance, and are they getting that experience?
No, sadly it is. But talking about regrouping and starting again, you have done that. You've done it with Expro.
Yes.
You've been doing this since, we've seen each other at various little bits and functions and that, and it's always like Scotty's been doing this at Expro and what have you. So I want you now for the next 5-10 minutes. Well, look, Geoff, we've got all day really, to be fair, because we're going to extra time. He's took
I have, because I thought I was on tonight. So.
You don't like extra time, But to tell us about the charity, what it does, and 2 high-profile cases I do want to get into.
Yep.
One, the greatest footballer that I've ever seen play English football in my lifetime, Gaza. And another one, sadly, probably England's left back when I was a kid, Kenny Sansom, and how difficult it is for players to fall off and get into situations like that, and what help there is for players that do fall on them times.
Well, Expro, the charity bit is a little bit of a difficult thing for us, because people think footballers and ex-footballers have all got millions of pounds and they're okay financially and they don't need anything. I think the Kenny Sansom and Gaza situation is a sad reflection, and what frustrates me is these are 2 high-profile ex-footballers.
Yes.
You don't see Bill Bloggs who play for Rochdale on the front of the Sun, because the media won't print them because they're not a profile. But Expro has been set up really to help former players of all ages. Our youngest member is 17. Our eldest member is 97.
Blimey.
We delivered him a mobile phone last week because he wanted to get into the modern age, as he said. He's 97.
Has he never had one before?
Never had a mobile phone. It gets better. He said, I want to be able to access my newsletter online like everybody else. So he said, I'm going to become a Silver Surfer. So Hannah, who's at the office, Hannah's going to go around and give him a little bit of help on the computer, and so he can send and receive emails. So we help everyone from at the moment 17 to 97. What the general public probably wouldn't understand and would need a bit of time to think about it. If you've been in a professional career, if you walk out at St Andrews and there's 20,000-30,000 people, whether they're with you, whether they're against you, it's something that very few people get to experience. To have a career in that limelight is again, something fairly unique. It all then ends when your contract finishes. You're told you're not good enough. A career-ending injury, or you're simply too old. It ends. You wake up on a Monday morning, and as a statistic, you're the same as everybody else.
Yep.
But you don't have any experience of those life skills. You don't have those life skills. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that. And do we feel sorry for them? No, we don't. But we try to educate them. It's all about education and awareness. We work in a number of areas. There's a number of areas we got, and it's again sad reflection. Around 300 people a year we put into hospital for knee and hip replacements.
Yep.
Which, if you look at any other profession in the UK, that's a higher than ordinary sort of figure that you would deal with.
Do you think that in a few years' time will turn around? Because back in your day, you had the cortisone, you played while you were injured, managers put you on that pitch, knowing full well that you wouldn't get through a game.
And you put yourself on the pitch as
Exactly.
well. You put yourself on the pitch to earn your appearance money and your bonus, because that's how your wages were made up.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I think perhaps players look for any way of not playing.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I actually think it'll get worse. And there are a number of reasons we think it'll get worse. But Jim Walker, the old physio at Aston Villa, who's gives us our medical, he's a medical consultant for us. The reasons Jim thinks it'll get worse is because the game's faster.
Yeah.
Number one, the pitches are harder. In the old days, it was quite soft, so it was a bit of a shock absorber. So the only shock absorber now is your joints.
Yeah.
So with the speed and the harder pitches, we think the number will get worse. And one thing that we do think will happen is that things like osteoarthritis will manifest itself earlier than it did with the older boys. So most players of my era will start to get osteoarthritis around 40 years of age, and we think that it'll actually happen a little bit sooner. Only a couple of years, but we think the numbers will be bigger, and there lies something else we do. We're just about to conduct a 5-year study into osteoarthritis in professional football, ex-professional footballers, just to see why it's happening. Is it all knees? Is it all hips? Or is it other parts of the body? What sort of age groups? What sort of conditions are they living in? And if you without looking for sympathy, if you realise that most ex-pros who played in the 60s, 70s, 80s, when they retired to a job which was more of a manual type job. So, not there's anything wrong with it, but it unlikely you'd see them in commerce and office type jobs. It would be warehouse, factory, pubs, that type of thing. So if you can't get around and you've got a condition that stops you from working, then it's going to impact on your quality of life as well. So we just with the Arthritis Research Council, we have the backing as well of FIFA and the FA.
Okay.
Who are backing this study. We're we are researching 20,000 ex-professional footballers just to see the out. And if we provide compelling enough evidence, then we're looking to get state benefits available that today are not available if you play football.
Yeah.
If you did anything else, you could get a benefit. But if you got anything like football around you, then you don't get the benefit. It's a way of excluding you.
Another big thing that I've got to bring up as well is the sad loss of Geoff Astle some years ago. His daughters, Claire has been in particular on many radio stations up at the FA. It's only due to the Astles families, almost kind of like a Staffordshire Bull Terrier with a bone and not wanting to let that go, that the FA have said, right, we'll have a look. We hear what you're saying. We'll have an investigation into that. I mean, I think it was about 10 years later than what they said they would go into.
2001, there was a study started.
Yeah.
2003, it was abandoned.
Yeah.
So it was never... It was never completed. It was a 10-year study into the condition.
Why did they abandon that?
Well, let me...
Sure.
I'll come back to that if I may. First of all, we're dealing with the Astle family and have done for many years. We have a dossier of 150 ex-footballers who've had some form of dementia, stroke, Alzheimer's type disease. What we can see from the 150 is that diagnosis of those conditions was somewhat earlier than the general public. The general public tend to get diagnosed with that around 60, 65. The ex-pros are getting diagnosed with it 50, 55.
Yeah.
So around 10 years earlier. The Astle girls, great girls, valid case, a lot of information, but they're one of 150. Yeah. And I'd like to stress that because if anything's really going to be done about this, then it has to be done as a collective litigation scheme, not a one-off. And that's the challenge we have in controlling people, the splinter groups. In terms of the FA and the PFA, and we have to mention the two, it was a joint study conducted by the FA and the PFA. When you look into the study, it was a study conducted over 197 young footballers. Now you have to question that in itself. Why was there no older footballers included in that study? Why was it only 197? The 197 players, all of them left the game within 3 years, so they couldn't continue the study. That's why it was stopped.
Right.
Now the actual findings of that, we believe, were locked in a cupboard, hoping that nobody would ask any questions. And I don't think questions would have been asked because Claire and the girls, bless the cotton socks, were a voice in a wilderness. And it was only when Hugo Lloris stupidly came back on the pitch for Spurs that the whole head injury thing came about again, and it incidentally coincided with the NFL ex-players winning a £28 billion court case. So with all that, it's all been rekindled. But what I find really strange with football, none of the bodies, the FA, the Football League, the PFA, FIFA, UEFA, none of them collaborate. None of them work together. They all seem to be working against each other. So you get this he said, we said, you said type scenario, instead of somebody saying, look, okay, it wasn't done. Let's not dwell into the reasons why it wasn't done. Let's now do it. And I think the let's now do it, we're the ideal organisation to do it through, because we have the largest database of ex-professional footballers that there is anywhere in the world, not just the UK.
So what people listening to this broadcast will say is Expro, brilliant. Is every professional footballer in Expro? And if not, why not?
No.
And how do you connect with them? And, you know, if you could say to, because you hashtag it Life After Football, and that's what it is.
It's exactly what it is.
Life After Football. How can the pros that aren't part of your magnificent organisation, how can they hook up with you
Well,
Part of it?
first of all, there's a lot of benefits for being involved in Expro if you are an Expro. Main areas we work in, I've hit on medical assistance, financial assistance as well. For those guys who are struggling financially or don't know what to do,
Yeah.
rather than sit there in silence, we can help. We've got the network to help you. There's social welfare, and that's the Gazza and the Kenny Sanson. And
Yeah.
let's please come back to that because it's a very, very important.
We're definitely going to come back to that there.
And then there's two other subjects that I think are equally as important, and that's education and employment. Part of the problem with ex-footballers is they don't get a job.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are unemployable. So to get them employed, you have to re-educate them. You re-educate them, we can get them a job. You have to work with them. You have to work with the individual and the collective mindset to recondition them back into, I've got to get up, I've got to be at work at 9, I finish at 5:30, that's Monday to Friday, and then I pay the bills. You got to get that mindset across. Otherwise, they don't do it. They'll wander around. They think playing golf and taking the kids to school is a job, and it ain't.
Yeah.
And it ain't. So how do you join? Very, very simply, you join online.
Oh, okay.
You join online at Expro. Lots of benefits for being an Expro member. One of the main ones being that you're not in a wilderness, and so there is help there. The reason I'm stuttering, that's a call from a prison.
Oh, okay.
That's a call from a prison, and that prisoner is Michael Branch. He used to play for Everton, Manchester City, who we're
He's a big player
helping.
in his day, wasn't he, Branchy?
We're helping Michael. He's all excited. He's called me twice this morning because he starts his work experience tomorrow.
Oh, right, okay.
And we've organised that for him. We're working with him. Again, it's a classic case. He's got into money troubles. His contracts started to dry up.
Yeah.
Contracts he was getting, not enough to pay the bills. Like a lot of people out there in life that are forced with a desperate situation,
Yeah.
he turned to desperate measures, and he got involved dealing drugs, Class A, and got an 8-year sentence for it. It was interesting when the second visit that I'm in prison that I made to Michael, he confessed to me that he never ever wanted to be a footballer.
Oh, right.
He wanted to be an accountant, but he was thrust into football because his dad Maxie, he was an infectious character, failed football at Liverpool. He lived his life through his son, but as Michael will tell you, and I'm happy to bring him on this show when he's out.
Yeah.
Michael will tell you, I'm sure he'll say, football to me represented a beating and no food. And if I had a really, really bad game, beating, no food, and locked in my room. So he didn't have a good view of football.
Yeah.
So we've taken the football element away from him, really, and we've encouraged him through his accountancy qualifications. He's now, for the accountants out there, you'll know what I'm about, he's qualified level 4.
Yeah.
He's got 2 years to qualify for a full chartered accountant. We've got him in at one of our accountants and one of their offices in the northwest, and he'll do a 2-year work experience and qualify as a chartered accountant.
Yeah.
So it gives you an insight of some of the things that we do, really. So yeah, if you want to come back to the Gazza and the Kenny Sanson.
Yeah, let's. Because I mean that really is life after football, working for the ex-pro that's been locked up. And look, you may have made a mistake, but everybody in life gets a second chance.
Well, listen, as we speak, there's 146 ex-pros in the adult system.
Yeah.
And there's around 200 in the young offenders. The prison service are working at the final figures because there's so many young offenders incarcerated that there's a little bit of work there to be done till we find the final figures. And there, but for the grace of God, go I sometimes. As I say, desperation leads you to do desperate things. And our interest in those guys who are in prison is not their crime. It's nothing to do. It's not nothing to do with us what they've done. But they're ex-pros, and we go into the prisons. We sit with them, we work with them, and we find out where their interests lie. one thing I will say, and there will be offenders listening to this, there is the education in the prison system is fantastic.
Oh, right. Okay.
So if you do want to, if you're in there for whatever reason, my advice is take advantage of the education, get yourself educated and come out. All is not lost. And that's our message to the ex-pros. We go in there, we help them with their education, we get them educated, and whilst they're in there, as long as they keep up their end of the bargain, they don't get into trouble, and they get their qualifications, we'll help them with a job on the outside. And that's our end of the bargain. And
now, how do you help these two young men?
Well,
that's the alcohol is, and again, I'm guessing that's quite prevalent in your game as well, because the easiest thing when you finish training, and I don't know what time do you finish, about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock training, down the pub, a few Swift sherbet,
certainly if you haven't got a in our day, if you hadn't got a midweek game and you got Wednesday off, Tuesdays was, you'd be on the booze.
Do you think players should be at a football club? Because I think I'm right in saying they do this in Italy. They go there, they have breakfast, and then have a bit of training, they'll have lunch, they'll let it digest and that, they'll do a little bit of light training after lunch, and then they go home at kind of tea time, like a normal job, getting players into that psyche of you're there, you're at the club, you're doing a job of work, rather than you're there, 11 o'clock, bugger off, and players get up to all sorts.
Yeah. Well, I think it's starting to happen here, because the players do have breakfast now at the club, and they do their training, and then they'll have lunch and what have you. But then, the footballer's got a lot of time on his hands, and he's got a lot of money. But these two guys, the reason they're in the situation they're in, for very different reasons for that.
Yeah.
I'd be very, very surprised if a modern day footballer would be in that sort of situation. Mm-hmm. And if you take both of them, I know Kenny very, very well. Yeah. We've been pals for a long time. And he's been to a couple of our dinners. Yeah. And we've put him up, and when he's been to the dinner, and you know what, we have paid the bill as well. And believe me, it was a big bill. But both of these guys are high-profile ex-footballers. Yeah. These guys, I'm sure you'll read in the next few days, will be picked up by the PFA, or they'll be picked up by their celebrity friends, and the PFA will throw a little bit of money at it. But the real reason they're doing that is for a PR exercise. Yeah, the clinics that both of these two have been in, I know the clinic very, very well. We refuse to use it.
Why?
Because the backup service is not comprehensive enough. We sent a Midland footballer, ex-goalkeeper over at the Wolves, into the particular clinic at the request of the clinic itself. We want Expro to use us. To use us. So we sent two guys. I won't name them because it's not fair. They're still in rehabilitation, and they're both from Midland clubs. One's an ex-Villa player and the other one's an ex-Wolves player. The Wolves player actually went back on the booze within a week, and he's in a worse situation now than he was then. The Aston Villa player was turned away at the door.
Blimey.
He was turned away at the door because they questioned him, and he admitted to having a can of lager the night before. Now, I went hopping mad at that because, the reason he's down there is because he's got a drink problem. You know what I mean? So don't turn him away. Yeah. So for me, that was two bad experiences too many. So we now use a different clinic down on the south coast, which is far more comprehensive. We put 57 ex-footballers through this particular clinic last year, and I have to say, and with a great deal of pride, all 57 are clean.
Blimey.
All 57 are sober, so much so that they're starting to change their mindsets. They're starting to think about education, and they're starting to look at getting work. And some of them are actually in employment, and you would never know that there's been a problem. That success rate for me is too good for us to chance anybody going into the one that the PFA. But these will be picked up by Gordon Taylor and his merry band of men, and they'll send them to Sporting Chance, which is a £15,000 rehabilitation course, which just over 3 weeks, and then they'll be back on. Kenny's been to Sporting Chance 4 times to my knowledge. It's not the answer. Gaza's a different story. I think Kenny wants to be helped, but Kenny Sanson, it's almost too easy for him to publicise his case to actually get some more help, and then he gets dry and he goes back on it. Yeah. And Kenny Sanson picks up $1,500 a month from his pension. There's no reason why he can't live. So the story you read here, in my opinion, is not. If there are a lot of people in this town who don't get anywhere near $1,500 a month after tax, who live okay, and I think that's where there's got to you need to understand that Gaza is a different story. Gaza has got that many people that have made a lot of money out of Gaza. His immediate family, his wife, he was only married 2 years, which strange enough the kids took his name straight away. I have to ask a question there, but I know the one clinic that he went into in Bournemouth, and the guy called Paul Spanier from Providence Clinic, he said to me the problem is when he finishes his course, the ex-wife and family get hold of him, parade him at the horse racing and every sort of function. Next thing you know, he's back on the booze. I think there's too many people around Gaza to help him. Plus the fact he's got to want help himself. All the people we've been involved in, you have to, and the people who are out there who are experiencing these problems and have these diseases will understand what I'm saying. You've got to want to help yourself. You've got to hit that rock bottom where you want to help yourself first. He's not hit that. And I think the unfortunate thing with Gaza is, I think you'll find one day we'll wake up and we'll find him in a box. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at them pictures, but harrowing, aren't they? But football has got to, instead of using the high-profile players who have these diseases, instead of using them as a PR stunt, they've got to do what's right for them, and they're not doing that. And it's not me to openly criticise anybody, but in this case, I am. I think football has let these two down. Sad. Right, should we have a song? If you break it up, let's have a tune. What we got on, mate?
Should we have the song that you told me not to play half hour ago?
I never told you to not play the song.
You did.
What song did I say? No, you can't have that because that's part. No, you don't listen. You don't listen.
Okay.
You don't. We've got. Last night I was at the premiere of the Guvnors in Birmingham.
Fantastic.
Barrington was on there, and we've got some interviews. So we're going to be later on in the show. We're going to be playing that, and there's this song that's in the film.
Oh right, now the penny's dropping. Yeah, okay, sorry.
Yeah, I've told him twice.
I know, but
I've told him that twice.
I wasn't listening.
You never do. Just hit that button and play me something.
All right
please.
then. Here we go. Merrymouth.
Oh, I love it.
I vow my heart before a change in the wind, before it chills and becomes out of shape, and all my days I will be lost in the rhyme, chasing where love faces time and wins for just an hour. Time is the sweetest of flowers, snow on the cherry tree bough, and if it did, we would slumber in evening's gown, wake under double down clouds every day. And all I need is you and dreams, my love. Yes, all I need is you and dreams, my love. No time to play games that we lose when we say loose thoughts that trip up your way on the side of the hill, when life was standing so still, silent in moonlight, chill Easter tide. 'cause all I need is you and dreams, my love. So fall asleep and dream of me, my love. Yes, fall asleep and dream of me.
That was the wonderful sound of Wenlock Hill from our album of the week, Merrymouth, Wenlock Hill. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know where Wenlock Hill is,
No.
but
I was probably near Wenlock.
yeah. Did the ideal place?
Cotswolds.
Yes, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
it could
There you
well
go.
be.
Or Shropshire. Shropshire, would it? Isn't Wenlock in Shropshire?
Well, it is.
It sounds
is,
like-
yeah. It
yeah.
sounds Shropshire-ish.
And also, like, you know, with stuff that's... You know, if you're making a cup of coffee and you've got the kettle on, what's the most important thing you need to stick in the kettle?
Water?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Shall I go
You
make it?
no, you boiled the kettle. Literally, you boiled the kettle, boy, because you stuck it on. And I've just gone to pour the water in for
I told you earlier.
and there was no water in the kettle.
I told you earlier, I can't remember everything.
Dude, I know you can't remember anything. Right, let's have Esther Turner, and the kettle's just boiled because I put water in it.
Well
boy.
done.
Come on.
Sun-kissed, what is this? Feel the fire from inside. How do I? But she might. To the heart I have been tied. Think less 'cause your way is the best. I know you're gonna help me out if I get in a mess. I don't wanna have to miss you when you go away. When I come for a visit I wish I could stay. I know I got to work to be who I want to be. Prove to you and everybody who believed in me. No, I've only been with you a little while, but with you I open a smile. 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 Sun-kissed, what is this? Please know that it fills my mind. So calm, but how far? To the heart I have been tied. I think less 'cause your way is the best. I know you're gonna help me out if I get in a mess. I don't wanna have to miss you when you go away. When I come for a visit I wish I could stay. I know I got to work to be who I want to be. Prove to you and everybody who believed in me. No, I've only been with you a little while, but with you I open a smile. 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 What's the beat that keeps us building? The feeling's making me walk on the ceiling. Go to our world, there's no problems there. You gotta help me out, I can't breathe in any air. Don't know if I've told you about my ninja moves. I'm a bit of a pro, I'll teach them to you. We'll go to Laser Quest, try to kick some ass. We'll dance in the kitchen looking really daft. I think less 'cause your way is the best. I know you're gonna help me out if I get in a mess. I don't wanna have to miss you when you go away. When I come for a visit I wish I could stay. I know I got to work to be who I want to be. Prove to you and everyone I believed in me. No, I've only been with you open a smile. With you I open a smile. With you I open a smile.
The magnificent sound of Esther Turner, Open a Smile, and that little girl always does. I'll tell you what, Geoff, we've got so much brilliant talent in the music, well, I say the music industry, but the music world, the music family in Birmingham. It's just like a well of talent. And that's, you know, again, another reason why we do this Biscuit Boys and the Sports Radio, the music project. And the other reason is because I got booted off football.
That's right, yeah.
If I'm going to be absolutely honest.
Too controversial.
Yeah, they couldn't handle it, could they? Emailed. Removed by email. Have you ever been removed by any of your football clubs by text or email? Did it happen in them days?
I didn't have text or email in them
I
days.
suppose no, yeah.
I got a phone call on how I joined Birmingham City was interesting. I was captain at Leicester City Football Club.
Yeah.
And I have to say, really enjoyed it there. And we lived in I just got married. We'd just had our first daughter, and we lived in a sleepy little village. It was pleasure to live there. Enjoyed the club. Great rapport with the supporters. Really liked the manager, Jock Wallace, who for me is one of the most complete managers I played for.
43 appearances.
Yeah, and there lies my dilemma, because I played in all the big games, but he'd leave me out against Oldham Athletic, and I want to play every week, and so I'm sitting at home on a Sunday night, and I'm still like, if you call me at Sunday night, who that bleep's calling me on a Sunday night, and it was the gaffer, and he said, I've sold you to Birmingham City. And that's how I heard. So the deal was done with the then manager Jim Smith, and so I went over to the training ground the following day and sat down with Smithy, and he said, look, we've just sold Joe Gallagher, and I want to pair you with Colin Todd, and we got to we've got to get some youth into the side, and somebody who was born in Saltley, Nechells, St Clements Road, Nechells, about a decent kick away from the St Andrews. Is dream come true for me. So I said yes immediately without even discussing money. We didn't even talk about money, and put the house up for sale. I looked at the side I was playing in. Jeff Whirlins in goal, David Langan. Yeah, good team. Toddy, me mate, Toddy, myself, Kevin, Mark Dennis, Kevin Dillon, Alan Kirbishley, Archie Gemmell, Twan Van Merlo, Frank Worthington, Neil Watmore up front. Decent side. I thought this is nice. And instead of standing on the tilt and roll as a boy that I used to, I'll be playing at St Andrews, and so it was brilliant. Everything that they said to me was fantastic. Couldn't wait. My dad had still got his pub in King's Heath. So
what pub had he got in King's Heath?
King's Arms, the Knob.
Oh yeah. Oh right, okay. All right.
Big blues pub.
Yeah.
And at the time, and so I signed for the club, and I think we did the signing on pictures at my dad's pub.
Yeah. All right.
And a lot of my mates come from school. I went to school with them, whatever, and so everything was set for me to do really, really well. And for about 3 weeks, I did really, really well. Yeah. Then we turned up for training the one day, and I'd signed on loan initially. The deal was going to be paid after the month loan, due to the finances at Birmingham City, and my loan was just coming to an end. So I was looking forward to sign, and walked into training, and there was a rumour that Smithy had been fired, and Ron Saunders took over, and that's when the trouble began. And so I drove home to the sleepy little village in Leicester, rang the estate agent and said, take the house off the market. Yeah. I knew I wouldn't be there long.
You didn't get on well with Ron Saunders, did you?
No. But again, I guess
Frank was another one that didn't.
Well, I think within the first week, Langy abstained from a game within a week. Toddy walked out. Mark got suspended. Frank walked out. it was such an upheaval of players. You know, such a happy dressing room. The training was enjoyable. You know, and then all of a sudden, you know, talking about your aircraft in the air, I think the balls that the way we were playing, we were lucky not to hit a few aircraft in the air. It went from a football team to a kick and rush team, and
I was watching you.
Yeah, I know. It was. Hey, I was playing there. It was not nice.
Yeah,
not nice at all.
And contrasts in manager styles as well. And Jim Smith, I would imagine, was one of the greatest managers that anybody could play for. He was he always seemed a man's man, liked to laugh, liked to point, like, you know, and Saunders, the polar opposite in many ways.
Well, Jim Smith to me was very, very similar to my first manager, Tony Waddington, and Tony got around him a group of players that could play football.
Yeah,
you know, you look at the Stoke side with Jimmy Greenough, Alan Hudson, you know, George Eastham, you know. Terry Conroy, who works for Expro.
That was some team, that Stoke.
We finished third in the league. Jeff Hurst was up front with Jimmy Greenough and Jeff Salmons. You know, it was a fabulous side. And Birmingham, the Birmingham side was very, very, very similar in a lot of ways when I first arrived at the club. And as I said to you, Tony Waddington, he never spoke to us about the opposition. He never gave us, like, you know, we never played a formation. We just played.
Yeah. And
all Tony Waddington would say was, go out and express yourself and don't let the fans down. That was all he used to say. Yeah. And we didn't let the fans down too much. Jim Smith was very, very similar. Yeah. You know, our training was all about playing football, keeping the ball on the floor and scoring goals. It was all offensive type play, and I'd like to think that the missing link was somebody who could I was probably not the best footballer in the world, but I was vocal and I could keep the team together, and I was good at organising. So you know, surprising enough, Colin Todd, who's an England international, he never used to hear a peep out of him, you know. Just needed a big mouth, I guess. Yeah. And but then he just changed. It just changed in a heartbeat, and it just became a horrible place to go to work. Yeah. You know, and but the worst thing for me was he renewed my loan.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't. I should have gone back. I should have gone back. So he renewed my loan for a second month, and you know what? It's probably the most foolish thing I've ever done in my life, signing for Birmingham City. Now that might sound strange,
yeah, I know what you're saying,
but I really let my heart rule my head.
I think a number of players have said that as well.
But I did. I let my heart rule my head.
Yeah.
I should have said, listen, if you're not unsure about me, come and watch me in Leicester City's first team. I'm the club captain. Yeah. You know, watch me there and then sign me or don't. That's what I should have done, and that's what I would have done under normal circumstances.
Quite disrespectful, really, to the captain of a big club like Leicester to say, look, we want your captain, we want him on loan, we want to have a look at it. Well, like, you must know all about me. I've played enough games. I've played for Stoke. I'm a professional football player of many games standing, and you don't get to be captain of great sides like that you had at Leicester. Without being or having something about you as a person and certainly as a player.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, a lot happened to me at an early age. Yeah. You know, I was in Stoke's first team at 17.
15 at Highgate United.
15 at Highgate, yeah. I play with men.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, my career was very, very short.
Yeah.
Very short, because my second game after leaving Birmingham City, I snapped my cruciate ligament. Yeah. So that was me finished.
And that was it in them days, wasn't it?
Well, again, I guess being stupid, I tried to play on. I got a young family. Yeah. I needed to. And so Charlton Athletic, the club at the time, were in dire financial states. I'd snapped my cruciate ligament, my right knee, and they sent me on loan to places like Northampton and Cambridge and whatever to try and get fit. Even had a month up at Middlesbrough. But every club I went on loan to, I got no money. And you know, it was
a recent thing, don't we?
No, it's been the same in football.
And so I got myself back to a level of fitness that I knew that I wasn't right. I knew that my right leg was not right. but I'd got enough about me, and I'd got enough pride to do a job.
Yeah.
I should have retired at 24.
The age when
I was
you
24.
left the game.
No, I was 26.
26. And
I should have retired at 24. I tried to play on for 2 years,
Bloody hell.
and in the end, I snapped the cruciate ligament in my left leg, overcompensating for the right, and that was me done. Finished at 26. So I have all the experience and knowledge to run an organisation like Expro, because I've been through. It would have been very easy for me to give up and hit the bottle or buy a pub or, go down the path that people like Kenny and Gazza have gone down, and it would have been very easy for me to do that. But I took the opposite view and went to university, enrolled at university, and got myself a business degree, and I just wanted to do something better.
Leaving Birmingham City, do you want to tell us how it ended, or should we leave that for another day? It's great. I love the story.
It's up to you. It's up to you. Yeah, I'm happy to discuss.
Come on, then let's have it.
Okay.
So, what happens when you see players leave? You read it at the back of the paper that it's just a part of the ways. My guess is that most players that leave, there's a reason that they leave, and the press will never ever tell you why they leave, because the local press are so close to the football clubs. If they dared to say what went on, they will not get the gig again. And this is not a modern thing. This has gone on since time immemorial. So you're in the dressing room at half time. Tell us what happened. This is a great story.
Well, I have to tell you the reason why first.
Yes.
We played Liverpool at home, and it was the great Liverpool side.
Yeah.
They got everyone out, and but our next game was against Norwich City away, which was Henry Fonda, as I used to call him. It was his old team. Norwich City was Ron Saunders' club, and Mark Dennis was suspended, and David Langan had gone, completely gone. You couldn't play him. So Toddy had walked out. So the back four that we sort of all thought would play against Norwich, bearing in mind Norwich was second in the league at the time. Yeah. They got a forward line of Louis Donowa, Joe Royal, Justin Fashanu, and Mark Barham, and Carrow Road in them days was a tough place to go. Yeah. Long journey, which didn't help. Tough place to go. So the back four we thought that would play would be perhaps Kevin Broadhurst coming at right back, Pat Van Den Auwe alongside me in the centre of defence. At least we'd kick a few people.
Psychopath.
Yeah. and Phil Hawker perhaps coming at left back. And Phil was, for me, an underrated player. I think he would have been a good midfield player, Phil. Yeah. But anyway, that's another story. But the back four that turned out was a guy called Wayne Mumford at right back, who we didn't know until about half an hour before the kick-off against Norwich. Probably about an hour before the kick-off. He brought Kev Broads alongside me. Yeah. And Kev's a lovely lad, got a lot of time for him, but he's 5'10", and he might not put his foot in sometimes when he needs to. Yeah. And then he put Phil Hawker at fullback, and I just thought we got a bit of a problem here. Yeah. We're playing against two ex-England internationals and two current under-23 international wingers. We're going to have a bit of a problem. But Archie Gemmell played, Kev Dillon played, Curbs played. One of Frank's last games actually up front, and he put Twan Van Merlo down the middle with him. Yeah. So there's a lot of experience still on the pitch, but the whole of the first half, the manager Ron Saunders is absolutely slaughtering Wayne Mumford to the point where the kid was a complete nervous wreck. He was scared of his own shadow. He just hadn't. His confidence had gone. We came into the dressing rooms at half time, and Ron Saunders is going on and on and on again at Wayne Mumford to the point where he actually got him by the throat and stuck one on him. Right, which is unheard of. Yeah. And then he carried on ranting and raving, and And with me, being me, someone who likes to help people and stick up for people, he made the classic phrase of "Does anybody want to say anything?"
I'm guessing you did.
And I said, well, basically, I tried to be diplomatic at first. I said, get off his back. When we cross the white line, there's actually not a lot you can do. We've got some experience in the side. We'll try and nurse the lad through the game. But, ultimately, you've picked him. And to that, Ron Saunders said, is there anything else you would like to say, or have you finished? And I said, well, with your attitude like that, how you won the Football League with Aston Villa, I'll never know. So, he then came across, he came towards me, and me being brought up in pubs in Aston and city centre, my dad always said to me, if someone's coming over that counter, son, you hit them. And I saw him coming over the counter, so I chinned him, basically. And then he banished me then to, first of all, the reserves, and then he banished me to it was amazing, because at Damson Lane, the following day I went in to get changed. I went in to apologise, which he was having none of it.
Yeah.
And I noticed that my kit had been moved from the first team dressing room to the reserves. And then as the weeks went by, because I wasn't going to give in, whatever he did to punish me, I wasn't going to give. Now, punishment he gave me, started off training with the reserves, and then when everyone went home, I had to keep running round Damson Lane, and Derek Jefferson, bless him, Derek Jefferson used to sit there on a chair until 4:30.
He was a physio, wasn't he?
No, Jeffo was the reserve team coach.
Oh, okay.
So he had to then sit on this chair outside in all weathers, watching me run round and round Damson Lane football, training pitch. And I stuck it out. I'd come in every morning gaffer, morning lads, how are you? What's we got in store today? And all the usual things. I just would not, and so then, because I didn't break in the reserve team dressing room, he put me in with the kids.
Yeah.
I didn't break with the kids, so he then put me in with the trialists. Yeah. And and that was how I was treated for a couple of months. So when the offer to go to Charlton Athletic came in, I could not wait to get away. Yeah. But financially, I did very well out of it, because I overheard a conversation, and I basically held Birmingham City to ransom till they paid me so much money to leave. And then 2 days into my career at Charlton, that was it. 2 games into my career, Chelsea, Stamford Bridge, that was me gone. So that was that. But it became sour and unhappy for me at Birmingham.
Sad, but in dressing rooms up and down the country,
it's going on.
These things happen, and that's why I would just love the press to just be truthful. And I think as a fan, if you've seen some, or you've heard because there's been so many rumours circulating, I'd love them to say, do you know what, it was right.
Do you know what, Paul? I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed giving him a dig.
Right, well, let's have another track. What have we got on now, mate?
We got the Moons.
Oh, Body Snatchers.
Yeah,
let's have it.
Everything they've ever known. They sold their soul to feed the hunger.
Spoons that are playing in Birmingham. Have a guess when they're playing in Birmingham.
Soon.
Yeah, well...
And that's off their new album, by the way.
Yeah, Mind Waves.
Yeah.
That you think looks like the Dark Side
The Dark Side of the
by
Moon, yeah, it does. I think it does, yeah.
I know what you're saying, it kind of like, you know, looks a little bit like... On my wedding day, they're playing Birmingham, yeah. Marvellous, isn't it? Getting married, one of my favourite bands, and they're playing on the night. I did say to my missus, I might just nip out for an hour. Didn't get down very well.
No.
Nah.
Women like that, can they? They like that.
I mean, it's only a wedding, isn't it? It's only another night. Really.
That's right. I think somebody else is that, Sammy's playing as well.
Yeah, Sammy. Yeah, and Thieves as well.
Thieves, yeah.
So it's going to be a great night at Birmingham's Hare and Hounds, another banging venue for live music in this wonderful city of ours. But sadly, I won't be there.
No.
King's Heath in there.
Yeah, King's Heath, yeah. Talking about King's Heath and talking about the Chinese are on the way.
That's
Mind
right.
you, he don't look very healthy and happy and stuff, does he? He looks...
Well,
Oh, Carson's looking a bit young. But it is Carson Young looking a bit old.
Well, I suppose you can't get any hair dyeing
Nah.
where he is.
Oh, it's not the best of places, is it, really? What's he wearing a mask for, though?
well, they all do that, don't they? It's for
Do
the
they?
pollution.
Yeah.
In prison as well?
Well, just in
Well, he's in a
case.
prison van there, I think.
Yeah. No, they do.
Probably on day release or something going out. To, And the Chinese are coming to Coventry, you're telling us, mate?
Yeah. We got a game being held at the Ricoh Stadium.
Yep.
I'm not so sure whether it's the first football game back there. Really. I don't know whether Coventry are back by then. I'd be interested.
Rotherham,
Yeah.
isn't it, their first game?
Yeah, what day's that? It'd be
They
interesting.
said 2 weeks, though.
I know, probably just back.
Don't ask him back-to-back questions. I'm amazed he got Rotherham.
Right,
For you, that was genius.
Yeah, we've been approached. Expro's been approached by the equivalent of Manchester United in China. It's a team called Shanghai Shenzhou.
Yeah.
Huge. They get 100,000 people watch their home games. Massive. Got their own TV channel with 2.5 million people subscribe to it. So, but they've got a veteran side called representing the club, and they're coming to the UK.
Yeah.
Because football's mad out in China. It's really taking off. So the veterans team are coming to the UK, and they wanted to play a veterans team. So we've hastily got together an Expro 11 to play the game at the Ricoh Arena on September 14th.
Okay.
Which is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So some good old boys are there. We've got people like Mike Taylor, Lee Hendry, Ian Taylor, Michael Johnson, Jeff Horsfield, Seth Johnson. Remember Seth Johnson?
You see, when Stan Petrov, there was a game for Stan at Hales Owen, and Smithy was involved in it.
Right.
Lisa Smith, our mate Smithy.
Yeah.
And I said, look, mate, if you need me help, I'll give you it. And I was there that day helping and showing people like Gary Shaw to his seat. She always says, Gabby, what did you say? Where's the fucking bar? You've known me since we were kids.
Yeah, you don't ever see. He has a stall, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, oh, surely, what a legend, Gary.
Brilliant, yeah. We go back along. Go back at school with Gary.
Yeah, I mean, we went to Kingshurst Comprehensive with Gary Shaw.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
But Seth was playing that day as well.
Right.
What a lovely lad, ain't he, Seth Johnson?
I haven't met him yet.
No, you'll love it.
He's a member,
What a great lad.
and he's playing in the game. Funny enough, immediately after this, I'm meeting up with Ian Taylor, and
another great lad.
Yeah, we're just having a head count on who's playing and what have you. But listen, it's for a really good cause. We're raising the proceeds of the gate go to the NSPCC. So which is what Expro is all about. We get those that are fit enough. We've got a football team that throughout the UK that plays in exhibition games and charity games, and we simply like to raise money for other people. So it's another side of ex-footballers that people don't see. I'm just questioning whether the modern day player would do that when they retire. Be questionable.
Personally, no.
No, I don't think so. And then I think our next game, again, I'll confirm tomorrow, October 19th at Solihull Moors.
The magnificent
the Moors. And again, combination of a lot of former Midland players are going to be playing in that game on a Sunday afternoon, and we're raising money for the Lily May Foundation, which is a lovely charity and very, very nice people. So again, let's hope the weather's kind to us, and let's hope we can get a bumper gate in there, and you'll see some good old players there, and Solly will be out to do us, I would think.
Well, I think with the start that Solly all have had, Marcus ain't going to be very happy. Happy birthday, by the way, Gaffer. But he ain't going to be very happy at the moment. But again, you bring in players and it changes round, and they've made so many leaps and strides at Solihull Moors. Before Marcus come in, there was just like one team. I mean, now they've got like loads of teams. Kids, they're chartered. The ground, the Autotech Stadium looks fantastic. We done a Moor show last year.
Yeah.
Haven't done it this year just because we've been so busy with the Biscuit Boys and with bits and pieces.
Well,
but we do want to incorporate
Solihull's it's a club that I personally want to get behind myself.
Yeah.
I want to try and help Solihull, as I do a lot of things in Birmingham. It's widely known I've got a terminal cancer condition myself, and I've come back to my roots. I'm back in Birmingham. I live here now. We've lived here for the last 6 years since I got diagnosed, and I want to see if I can get some of my friends together to try and help organisations and colleges in Birmingham and kids in Birmingham. We've got a wonderful city. It's got a great tradition, and just want to try and gel it a little bit. We got that many different...
We're the Jelly Boys.
But we got that many different cultures now.
Yeah, we have.
And but it doesn't seem to me that we're very good at integrating. And
I think, Geoff, going back to what you said with the Gaza and that, people and in this city as well, and not specifically to this city, but if it's something like One Direction and that, they're all over it. The papers are all over it. If it's big, they're all over it now. But when it's proper stuff, the media are almost loath to do something about it. We found so many barriers, haven't we? Now, I know Birmingham. I was having a beer with Mike Holly, who's the manager of Broad Street. And last night, 2 nights ago, because this is going on Wednesday night, we had the Guvnors. Then we're going to be doing a little bit with the Guvnors, because I interviewed... there was Cass, there was Vaz and Barrington and Gabe Turner, who wrote and has directed this magnificent film. Incidentally, on the back of, where is it today? The Zoo magazine. It's on the back of that somewhere. We'll find it like we are. You like looking at the front of Zoo, don't you? There's the front.
I wonder why.
That's what I look at, Guvnors. And I know that at the Cineworld there on Broad Street and Mike Holly, they want to bring films like this premiering in Birmingham. So in Birmingham, in essence, what I'm saying is we've got so many brilliant people that can do that. But with the media, don't hold your breath, because I was the only one there last night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about it.
And that's your problem.
Yeah.
That's your problem. If it was One Direction, or if it was the Rocky, Sylvester Stallone one, you'd have been... and I think we did say this at the top of the show when we were setting it up. From the top of like 5 Ways down to John Bright Street, they'd have been all over it. But this film is going to be an absolute blockbuster.
But Birmingham itself, Paul, has got to get better at promoting Birmingham-born people.
And it's the media, and the media, I think, are really reticent to do that, and I don't know why. But I do think that they need a massive shake-up. And I mean, we do this for nothing because we love it, and we're going to be at the forefront of the revolution of Birmingham, man.
We certainly are.
We were last night. I was on the table. It's like Land of the Giants. I mean, like Gabe Turner, he must be about 6'6". I mean, Cassie's a big boy. Cass must be about 6'4".
Yeah.
I mean, Barrington's a big boy, and Mike Holly. So like, there's all of them. I look like a little growth.
Peanut.
Yeah, in like a picture. I was like,
Yeah, I've seen it.
Stick him in about. They said to me, stand up.
Yeah.
Said I am.
But collectively together, we really can take a project forward with music, with films, with football.
Yeah.
And I think that I think the time's right, because we've got the social networking.
I think
media as well.
I think we got something to shout about now, and we've got to get better
Yeah.
at promoting our own city and our own people. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Well, I shout, but I shout a little bit late, and then I get banned.
That's right, yeah. Going back to music, I really do think there is a revolution.
Oh, definitely.
Music-wise.
Let's have Sammy on. Have we got Sammy now?
Sammy on in a bit, yeah.
This kid, I think, is going to be one of the greatest talents on our planet. He's from Kingshurst, Birmingham. And he should be... I would put him on a stage with... If Paul Weller phoned me up I mean, I'd probably fall down. It's like, well as my hero, well as God. But if Paul says to me, Gavin, give me an artist to perform with me on my next world tour, Sammy Rogers is the kid that I'd put him. I rate him that highly. The magnificent sound, the funky sound of Samuel Rogers from. And I didn't. You went to Yorkswood School, mate. You
I
just
did,
told
yeah.
me, Yorkswood.
Yeah. I did, yeah. That's right.
You went to Kingshurst for a week, didn't you?
A week. I was there a
Like
week, hated it, and then played it with my mum, and my mum was the governor, so we moved to Yorkswood. Yeah.
And little Sammy went to St Anthony's because he then went on to Grimshaw's. You went to St Anthony's, then Grimshaw's. I went to like Kingshurst, then went on to like what's now the CTC, but it was Kingshurst Comp then.
Yeah.
What comp school did you go to then? Did you move back?
St George's, St George's
went-
Church of
went
England,
to-
and there's a reason behind that, because my dad kept moving pubs, and instead of moving schools, the theory was go to a school pretty much in the centre of Birmingham. Doesn't really matter then where we live. You just got to get a bus in. But some great people at our school. I mean, Gordon Cowans was there. at school. Paul Cooper was there, Lloyd Maitland, Peter Stronach, all made the pro ranks. I think 9 out of our football team became professional football.
Mark Walters, you saying
Mark Walters, yeah, forgot about Wally,
Yeah.
You know, so it was a hotbed for football.
And that was your manor. Talking about manners, are you ready like a coiled spring? As we're talking, the Guvnors are being premiered in Birmingham, but I caught up with them 2 days ago. Gab Turner told me all about the Guvnors and his thoughts behind writing this blockbuster British film.
The camera guy.
He's not going to have to.
Hello,
Don't
mate.
dumb yourself down, mate. Welcome to Birmingham. The man, the writer, the producer, the guy that's brought the Guvnors to the big screen, and most importantly, to the country's greatest city, Birmingham.
I love Birmingham. I went to university here, so I lived there for 4 years in Selly Oak.
Okay.
I lived on Selly Hill Road.
Oh, I know it very, very well.
Yeah.
Guvnors, tell me briefly about it. I know that everybody wants a piece of Gabe today.
No, no, sure.
Is it Gabriel? Is that what
That's
it's
long, but
Oh, yeah, I
everyone
thought
calls
so,
me
yeah.
Gabriel.
Where did you get the idea from, the Guvnors? I'm kind of guessing that old school meets new school. There's some social comment in there as well. Great little that you've got Harley from Rizzle Kicks as well as
Yeah.
one of your co-stars. So briefly talk me through it and tell me all about the Guvnors.
All right, so it started really, Metrodome, the distributor, they kind of had this idea of old versus young, and they asked me to come in and develop a few ideas around it. And I was interested in doing something about sort of fathers and sons, and basically there was an article at the time of the London riots where there was kind of a clash between the old school and the younger guys, and we kind of jumped off from that point. That was the starting point, and then developed the idea really from there. So that's kind of how it started, and then these things sometimes gain momentum or don't, and this one really did, and we were very lucky to get a great cast and loads of people involved, and the film went good. So
How difficult was it to get that cast? Because, I mean, one of the topics is you've got David Essex. In the 70s, where the Guvnors started kicking about, there was no bigger star, apart from Paul Weller, than David Essex. And, I mean, famously, I'm going to make you a star, and hopefully he's going to make you a star going.
yeah, no, he was amazing to work with. Really lovely guy, and no, I think for him, he read the script and he liked the idea of clocking a young, and so I think he appreciated that. But he's a great guy. It was amazing to work with. I knew who he was, obviously, but he was slightly out of my era, so I was less in awe of him as maybe some of the older members of the crew.
I've got to say, I mean, Cass Pennant is your co-producer as well. You're probably the only guy I've ever seen that's bigger than Cass.
Yeah. Although I'd fancy him against me.
I fancy him against anybody.
Yeah,
mate.
that's what I mean. He's much tougher than I am. No, but he's been great to work with as well. Having someone that gives that sort of authenticity to the project whenever you're filming, and making sure that what you're doing is real and true, and so it's great. So yeah, he was a real asset to the project.
So is it predominantly a football, when they say in the genre of the kind of the hooligan, the violent type of films, or just a film that has that about it and also has a little bit of a link in to football? Because to be fair, it's the greatest game on the planet, and to link anything to football is a great idea.
Well, that's the thing. I love football. The 2 films I've made previously were documentaries about football. So, In the Hands of the Gods and The Class 92.
Yeah.
So I've always been into my football. But no, I think Kaz's thing always was to try and elevate this outside of the genre. So make a film that had football violence in it, but really elevate it. So that was what we tried to do, and hopefully it plays as a film if you do or don't like football.
And how important was it to come to Birmingham? Because a lot of the premieres, it's in London. I know you've got your premiere that's on the Wednesday, 2 days in time in London, but Birmingham, fantastic coming here and bringing it. And I have to say, Barrington Patterson, what an absolute Birmingham legend, and what a lovely guy as well.
Yeah, well, it was great to work with Baz. He was unbelievable on set. But I love Birmingham. As I said, I lived there for 4 years, so it's a special place for me as well. So I'm delighted to be here, and I can't wait for tonight.
Gabe, can I just thank you very much for your time. All the very, very best with anything that you do. Anytime you need Gabby, no problem.
Top man.
Right,
Thank you
cheers,
very
Gabe.
much. Cheers, mate.
Legend.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, what team do you support?
Sunderland.
Oh, right, okay.
That's why I'm happy I'm here today and not Wednesday.
Fair enough. Cheers. That was the magnificent Gab Turner who wrote The Guvnors, and yes, and an absolute honour to be there. You know, in a Britain, as I say, on the back of the zoo, a massive British film without people like Gabe writing these films. You know, part of our culture, our film history, and that it dies. So for me, it's vital to support, and that was my first. You know, and I didn't know what I was going to do. To be honest, I never know what I'm going to do from the next minute. Anyhow, and they made me feel so welcome, so at home, total gentlemen. And it was like, Gabby, you've got 15 minutes to interview these people. And I'm buzzing around, and I've got no script or no nothing. So I'm just there, and there's, you know, I hadn't seen the film at that time. I've seen the film now. 10 out of 10. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. There's a twist. My missus usually kicks me and wakes me up because I usually fall to sleep when I'm watching films. I'm still buzzing over it now, which is like gotta be 12 hours later.
Yeah.
That's what that film did to me, and I'm hoping that it does it to many people. And if I would say to anybody listening to this broadcast, if you're thinking about going to watch the Guvnors, just go because you'll be gripped. You'll be riveted. You'll be on the edge of your seat. You'll be back in your seat as well because there's some horrible dark characters in there. The thing about a great film is you hate some characters and you love some other characters, and you can associate to what's going on. And I thought he'd had absolutely everything.
But for me, British films and British-made films are generally about subjects that are hard-hitting, they're to the core, and they do grip you like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, for me, a big turn-off is the American lovey-dovey,
Yeah.
predictable, you know, far-fetched. You know, you look at British film, it's a lot harder hitting, isn't it? You look at all the great films that have happened in recent years; they've all been British.
Yeah, and I think it's from the writing. You know, I mean, Gabe was telling us in that he'd studied at Birmingham University, so he got a contact and he got a link. He'd come to Birmingham because of Barrington Patterson. And Baz, that was his debut role in a film. I mean, there's great things ahead of Barrington, who's such a great lad. He's raised 60 grand for charities through the sale of his book One Eyed Baz. And as I say, you can only wish these people all the best. What are you typing in there, brother? Have we got some other... have we got another clip?
We have, yep, yeah.
Table. I've got no chance of collapsing this. Let's go to the co-producer first, Kaz Pennant. Kaz, what I love about you is your football. You can tell you dyed in the wool, claret and blue. In this city, that's like swearing, but in your city, it's West Ham United. And even for the photographs, you've always got the irons.
Listen, I've been coming up here quite a few times, having done This Man on the Right's book and another big boxing book called Joe Egan, you know. And since I've been coming up here, I didn't realise how much we got in common. It's a long road.
Well, it's a long road, and we've kept right on to it. We've seen some joys and some sorrows as well. But tell me about your role, Cass, in this. You co-producing the film.
Well, yeah, like I say, most of the people in Birmingham know me for book launches up here.
Yes.
And quietly, the last 3 years, I've been trying to move from books to establish yourself in films. I've had, one or two ideas of myself, and I've produced a film called Casuals as my first production. After forming a company, took it to Metrodome and showed them what I can do. They didn't quite take it on, but they liked that I went away and done it. And so there's interest in other projects. I mean, lo and behold, one day they said, "We got a project for you. Wonder if you'll be interested." And I said, "What's that?" And they said, "The Guvnors. It's a semi-hooligan drama with a twist." And I looked around and thought, well, I ain't talking to no one else. I'm in, And if I'm in, I met a lot of colourful characters that could bring authentication to the film Guvnors, because they wanted to try something different out of the genre of the usual just entertain, crash, bang, wallop. They wanted to explore more this whole thing about violence. Is it hereditary? Is it generational? Is there rules? They wanted to know about who the people behind it and try and get across that whole world in a different way. It's quite ambitious, helped out all the authentication with great Gabe Turner, done a wonderful script, trying to get into that world, and it's kind of like a marriage. If you want that world and you're from the other world, involve people in it, and as a team, I think people will be quietly going to be surprised by the film, because it's not just one genre, it's a film for everybody, the way it's worked, because it's very real.
And some of the actors you've got on, over to my left here, sir. And me over to your right, sir. That was amazing.
Slick.
You know, you...
Slick.
You are. I've used the word genius 3 times about you today. But football supporters, that's what it... And there is a connection to the fans with the Guvnors. You know, there's a lot of things that went on in your day when you was playing football. That probably the terraces are slightly different today, it's fair to say. But you were a household name in Stoke. And you was telling me, Geoff, they've bought a pub.
Yeah, well, the hardcore supporters,
Yeah.
they call them the Naughty 40.
Yeah.
The Naughty 40 bought a pub in Stoke, renamed it the Red House.
Okay.
And it is all red and white. And when I go to home games, not every home game, but occasionally what I'll do, I'll call into the Red House on my way to the Britannia.
Yeah.
And the leader of the pack there, who owns the pub, they make me more than welcome, and it is mad.
Yeah.
The whole pub stops and they sort of sing the song they used to sing about me, and it's really, really good to still have that sort of contact with the players. But they are a breed upon themselves, I tell you, and what they've done in the smoking area, where everyone can smoke, they've got a mural on the wall of the players that the supporters resonate with the most over the decades, and I'm honoured to be one of them, which is great.
Blimey. Who was some of the others up there? Was Uddy up there?
No, Uddy wasn't up there. You'd got Dennis Smith.
Another legend.
Yeah,
they're like the hard bastards up there in Stoke, don't they?
yeah. You got Jimmy Greenoff. Jimmy was a fabulous player up there, and the great Stan Matthews.
They don't get any bigger than Stan.
So I'm up there with Jimmy, Dennis, Stan. So
I tell you what, that's almost royalty, isn't it?
Yeah, for an O2 one, that's quite an honour.
I've never seen him work so hard there. He's beavering away. I also caught up with Vaz, and he told me why it was important for him to get his teeth into the role as Billy.
Yeah, hello.
How are you? Tell me now. You're talking ever so posh. Football supporter?
No, I like the game. I haven't got a particular team that I follow. No, not at all. Yeah, my name is Vass Blackwood, by the way. I play the character of Bill in the movie.
Okay. How easy was it for you to say yes to Gabe? Because, as I say, this is a great script. This is another take on some of the films that we've seen on the big screen before and the small screen. This is a great situation, and it's the Guvnors. It's different. It's old versus the young, isn't it? It's like one crew wins, and it's got to be the old guys.
Well, I'm not going to give away anything as far as the story is concerned, but I was approached by Gabe and Danny Potts. They said, would you read this script and consider the role of Bill? And I read the script, and the twist in the tale. I heard that Harley Sylvester was playing the lead, and I've been a great fan of the Rizzle Kicks.
Yeah.
But the script drew me to the actual project, and I was on straight away. I knew that I could add a different dimension to. I could bring Bill off the page. So really, that was my main. That was my introductory to Gabe, and a wonderful man to work with.
Tell me about your direction. What do you bring to the table
within this story?
Yes,
it's just a presence.
Yeah.
I work hard on my characters. I work with the script, and I bring the character to life, basically. Bill. Yeah. It's difficult for me, really, because I've never really involved myself since doing the movie Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. I've never involved myself with any gangster films in this country as such. You know, I had like illicit comedy. I believe that life is happy and sad at the same time. And there's a strength in being able to perform to that. So I play to my strengths, and I'm ever evolving as an actor. So I took this job on because of the twist in the tale in the script.
Yes.
And it means a lot to me, because it means a woman can go and see this movie with her partner or her husband and feel involved, even though there's so many of these films have been made, type of these films, since Lock, Stock. And I've just not got myself involved in any of them because I didn't really feel as though I could add anything to it. I could bring substance to it. But there comes a time when you read a good script, and Gabe's a very good director. There's something about Gabe. And the collective of producers, and they showed me love. They offered me the role, so I took the role.
Yeah. Fantastic. How brilliant was it working with this guy over to your right-hand side?
Well, it's very inspirational because there aren't many black film producers in the UK. They've been talking quite a lot about diversity and elevating this black presence. I don't really look at colour when it comes down to things. I think it's all to do with, we're in the minority with that because there are people, the powers that be, that do look at colour, and they also look at your background and your school tie. So working with Mr. Pennant here, you know, it was just, for me, it was like a breath of fresh air. And there's still more that we're going to do, but it's a slow process because we have to get this film out there. I believe that people will like this film because it has that twist in the tale. It's just not one way, that way. It's a very good story. And stories are captivating. You know, stories are what things are all about. But Kaz is like a very special person. Yeah. So, as I say, and because of the fact that he's a black producer, that's something should be taken very, very seriously. So, because it means that he's all rounded and he's grown up with white and black alike myself. You know, we have no partiality as far as that's concerned.
And another guy growing up with white and black, my old mate Barrington Patterson. That's what Birmingham is about, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, like I said, it's nice to bring it to Birmingham.
Yes.
You know, I'm well known in Birmingham, right? So to bring it here is, you know, it's a pleasure just to bring it in and see so many people turn out.
Yeah. And, you know, you are a massive character in Birmingham. You've got your book, One-Eyed Baz. I'm guessing that was kind of leading up to getting hold of this role. You've earned 60 grand for charity through that book. I know you as a person, I know you as a man, I know you Mrs. P as people. You are two of the greatest people that I've ever met on this planet, Barrington. Yeah. You know, and all the success that is going to be given to you, or not given to you, but you're going to work for it. You've deserved all of that because you're an absolute top old mate.
You know, I've been on both sides of the fence, so I know what it's like to bat on the other side.
Yeah.
And, you know, hopefully now I'm just looking in the one direction, that's just going forward. You know, so hopefully good things to come.
How did it feel, Baz, getting involved in the film? Because I say, this is your debut, you've never done nothing like it before.
I've never done nothing like it. When they gave me this casting to look at, I thought, I ain't going to do this. Yeah. You know what I mean? I even turned around and said to the wife, there's no way I can do this.
Yeah.
And we went away to Turkey for 2, you know, I went to their casting thing in London, and I sat down in front of the camera in front of Gabe, and I just froze.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know what the bloody I'd say. I just froze.
Yeah.
He says, listen, I know you can do it. So I went away for 2 weeks to Turkey for 2 weeks with the wife. When I came back, easy.
Now, I'm guessing Gabe's advice to you was, Barrington, be yourself.
Yeah, I played myself in a film, so that was the best part. I didn't have to act like anybody or put on a voice or anything. I just played myself and that was it. Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the best thing to do, though? Whether you're doing, you know, whether you're in a film, whether you're directing, whether you're an actor, be yourself and just make that script your own.
You know, what you see is what you get with me. You know what I mean? I don't try to put on anything to impress anybody or be anybody else.
Yeah.
I just like to be myself and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Kaz.
So rap on this, but no one gives you anything. It don't matter what your background
Absolutely.
is. Yeah, we've all got different backgrounds, all four of us in as well, yeah. Right, you've got to take your chance, and when you take your chance, your work's got to stand up.
Yeah.
Simple off. And each one of us, you know, we hope through this film people will see our work stands up. People are going to enjoy this film. It's going to surprise a few.
I'm sure the well, Kaz, because say anything that you guys have got into has been absolutely different class. Guys, can I thank you all for your time. I'm hoping that the Guvnors is going to be an absolute smash hit for all of you, because I know how hard you've worked, and the time that you've given me is much appreciated.
It's a people's film, and Birmingham's part of it. You know,
cheers, mate.
Every town, every city will identify with this film.
And there's a great camaraderie with Birmingham and West Ham United as well. He paid me a finer to say that.
You just blown film too, just blown the fun up, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for your time. Tough.
Father wears his Sunday best. Mother's tired, she needs a rest. The kids are playing up downstairs. Sister's sighing in her sleep. Brother's got a date to keep, he can't hang around. Our house in the middle of our street. Our house in the middle of our it has a crowd. There's always something happening and it's usually quite loud. Our mum, she's so house proud. Nothing ever slows her down and a mess is not allowed. Our house in the middle of our street. Our house in the middle of our house in the middle of our street. Something tells you that you've got to make the middle of our. Father gets up late for work. Mother has to iron his shirt. Then she sends the kids to school. Sees them off with a small kiss. She's the one they're going to miss in lots of ways.
Our house in the middle of our street, and we play that because that is a song that's in the Guvnors film while they're in the pub. It's brilliant. As I say, they clip it in. It's absolutely fantastic. I can't speak any on it. But you was telling us, Geoff, about some of the ventures that you've done, and you've got one like with Gordon, Gordon Banks.
The Gordon Banks, yeah. I've got two stories about Gordon, and the one is a little bit how I was with Ron Saunders, but not quite as violent. But but Gordon Banks, we have planned a dinner in his honour in March at the Belfry.
Okay, yes.
And our honour dinners, as we call them, we choose somebody that's been involved in football.
Yeah.
And in this case, Gordon Banks. We are connected to a guy called Andy Edwards. Very fortunately to be connected to a guy called Andy Edwards, who's an unbelievable sculptor and has done all the major statues outside the football grounds in the UK.
Oh, right.
And Andy had got this Gordon Banks statue in his studio of Gordon Banks making the save against Pele. And I happened to be in the studio and I said, what's this for? He said, I was just, we know Gordon very well. And the story is that Andy had he got Gordon to describe the save in Gordon's sitting room, and then from that Andy did the bronze feature. So it's absolutely fantastic. There's two been made, and we decided that with that we would put a dinner on to honour Gordon Banks and the contribution he's made to British football. And I think it's fair to say he's the greatest ever goalkeeper that's ever lived, and a lovely man. A lovely man. He's 72 now, Banksy. Still goes on his walk around Trentham Lakes, and still very active and very, very sharp. But the evening, as I say, he's at the Belfry in March. Date to be confirmed. We're just waiting on a date. Should get it this week, and that's one of our dinners. That's and we tend to do around 4 or 5 of them around the UK, and we pick a certain person at a time, and then we commission a bronze statue, two to be made. One we present to the guest of honour, and then the other one we auction off, and then we get the guest of honour to break the mould, so no other statue can be made. So quite a unique piece of work.
And
but the other story about Banksy, I formed Stoke City Old Boys Association a few years ago, and one of the big problems that the Old Boys have got was actually getting a ticket for a match day.
Yes.
Which I'm sad to say is a common sort of problem across the UK. And so I negotiated with the club and managed to get an allocation of 25 tickets. And but what I found was that Gordon Banks, through Terry Conroy, was getting 6 tickets per game. So I phoned Gordon up and I said, Gordon, you're president of the club, you sit in the director's box, why do you want 6 tickets? And he said, well, that's for my grandchildren and this, that and that. I said, but how many games for the club did they play? And so the rule is, Gordon, that you have to play for the club, and you can bring a guest, but you can't give it to your 6 grandchildren. So you're depriving other ex-players of attending the game on a Saturday. And he said to me, but I'm Gordon Banks. I said, I don't give a flying fart who you are. You're not getting a ticket. So it's ironic that we're now doing a dinner to honour him. So I'm sure we'll talk about that in the evening. But
he's still talking to you.
Oh, he took it in. He understood perfectly. He took it in good stead, and he's he's president of Stoke City Old Boys as well as the football club, and. I always have done. I got on great with him. He was my first youth coach when I was there, and when I started playing football. Always got on great with Gordon, and he's an absolute gentleman. And I was with him very recently at Utoxeter races where we had a nice meal and watched the horse racing. And he's a lovely fella. You wouldn't get that today,
No.
I don't think.
Am I right? Google this up. Yeah, I know. Am I right in saying, and this is not research, it's not kind of, it's just in my head. Am I right in saying that he got 72 England caps? Have a look at that, see if I'm right or wrong. And I'll give you my Gordon Banks story.
I think you're probably right.
When I was 5,
yeah,
and I'm just getting into the greatest game that's on this planet, football. Right. My dad's mate, Alan Keating, God rest him, he's passed away. Absolutely mad West Ham fan who used to play football with my dad, and they used to go out for a drink, every Friday night. So this guy used to phone up, and my dad used to tell me it was Gordon Banks. So I genuinely thought that Gordon Banks, my hero, and it must have come from that save in 1970. My hero is phoning me up and he's talking to me about football, right? So this went on for months and months, and bloody hell, God. And my dad would go, son, Gordon Banks is on the phone for you. Oh, Gordon Banks. And I was so excited. I remember having a grey scarf, and I was going to write in red letters, very vague, I was only 5, Stoke City. And my dad broke my arse. He said, son, that was my mate, Alan Keating. It wasn't Gordon Banks after all. You're a blue nose, and the only team you're ever going to follow is Birmingham City.
But you could have been a Potter.
That pen, but I could have been, yeah. And but it would never have been possible with my dad. There's only one team I would ever. In fact, the first terrace that I stood on was the Holt End, and I went to watch. This was about 1970, probably about 1971. England played a youth game at Villa Park, and my dad said, I'll never forget these words. He took me down there because it was England. We stood on the Holt, and he said, telling you, son, you don't tell anybody you ever stood in this football ground.
Well, you're saying that,
That's
but
the way it was.
I used to watch Aston Villa first team games on the one Saturday, and then I'd watch.
A lot of
Then I
people
watch
would do. My dad won't like that.
Birmingham City on the following Saturday. My hero for Villa was a guy called Dick Edwards.
Okay.
And the reason being, he was the first person I saw to pick the ball up and did a long throw.
Oh, right.
And from that moment, he was my hero.
Yeah.
And then my hero for Birmingham City was the late Trevor Rocky.
Yeah.
He was my hero there. But the reason I became a Birmingham City fan, because on the Tilton Road, they used to come round with a tin tea urn.
Yeah, I remember.
And I didn't do that at the Villa, so I became a Blues fan.
She still likes tea today. But they did in them days. Out on the back, you want a cup of tea?
Yeah, that's right.
In fact, Trevor Rocky come back, I think the first game, if I'm right, was 1973, when he was playing for Sheffield. They beat us 2-1. Woodward, the guy with the grey head, Woodward, and Trevor Rocky scored. That would have been my first game, but it was a Saturday game, and there's going to be a massive crowd. My dad wouldn't take me down that day, 1972. So I had to wait for the Newcastle game on the Tuesday night after the Sheffield United game.
Me and my brother used to sneak in under the turnstiles, under the men's feet.
Yeah.
Never paid.
But you could do
I
that.
couldn't have to save me money for me tea.
And also half time, they used to open the gates, didn't they? Half time as well.
Yeah,
Come in,
yeah.
Big rush of people coming in.
I mean,
Big rush going out.
Yeah, now they just close them to 90 minutes and chuck you back in.
Yeah, you're not going out.
Yeah.
Have you asked me where my first game was?
Go on, where was your first game?
Wembley.
Was it?
Yeah.
So you look so proud over there. Wembley.
You're going to say, oh, cool.
I
I was
was
in the school, Cambridge United. Not Cambridge United. Cambridge University versus Oxford University. That was exciting, wasn't
They used to do that at Henley, don't
it?
they?
Yeah, no, it was at Wembley.
They used to play it at
It
Wembley.
was at Wembley,
Oh, did
yeah.
they?
It was about 1972.
Was that the forerunner to the boat race?
Probably.
Now they've always done the Blues football, the Cambridge versus Oxford Blues football.
Oh, right, okay.
Used to be at
And
Wembley.
rugby.
The rugby was at
Yeah,
Twickenham,
Twickers,
and then the
yeah.
boat race, and it's all falls in the same week.
Oh, I didn't realise.
Big crowd as well, it was.
Yeah.
Massive, yeah.
I used to go to Schoolboy Internationals. Schoolboy Internationals. They used to be a great way of introducing schools into football as well.
Played at
didn't
Wembley
they?
in the schoolboy international.
Did you play for England, schoolboys?
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Played for England every level except the full cap.
Really? How many schoolboy caps did you get?
About 8. Played at West Germany at Wembley against England in front of about
What year would
80.
that have been about?
Oh, good God, that's 74. 74.
Okay.
74. No, 72.
Okay.
72.
Brilliant.
72. We played West Germany.
Played
in a
with
game.
Mickey Bradbury, who went on to play for Wolves and then later leave Walsall. Ray Wilkins, Butch Wilkins was in the team.
Okay.
Johnny Sparrow, Teddy Maybank, who all went on to play for Chelsea Football Club.
I think I've got that Well, I did. I got divorced twice and it got burnt. But I'm sure I've got a West Germany England schoolboy international from 72. Things come up and get in my memory bank. It's only football, actually, that I remember things from. And how did you do your research?
Yes, 73. You were one off.
Yeah, one off. So one far off, was I? With Gordon Banks.
Oh,
Fantastic.
well done.
Come on, let's have another song on.
Okay, then we've got another song. Should we have Shipper?
Ship ahoy!
Ship ahoy, and they're back again.
Can't seem to see around the hypocrisy and the narrow-minded conversations. Fantasy, but all you ever give to me is flattery. No, you're never truly honest with your talk. The castles in the sky. I've often left just asking why you needed me. When your plans have always been about you, what do you want from me? Why can't you say just where is our destination? You drive me up the wall with all your talk and all your promises. You take us there and back again. I won't just compromise. Can't hide behind your lies. You've lost your voice, and we have a choice. So we're done with you. What do you want from me? Why can't you say just where is our destination? Deception and corruption leaves my life with interruptions. Can't abide with confrontations, only leading to frustration and groundless communication of your cruel and harsh intention. I require intervention for a constant irritation from you.
All the way from the land of Oz, the magnificent Ship ahoy.
He's our mate, isn't
Wait,
he, Mark?
Shipper.
Mark.
Yeah, they're all our mates. We broadcast to every corner of the globe.
And by the way, our other mate, Larry Weiss,
Yeah.
sent us another track.
We'll play them.
We'll play it next week, I think.
It's
run out of
been a
time.
mad show this week. We haven't.
Tell Geoff who Larry is.
Oh yeah, Rhinestone Cowboy.
He wrote that. He wrote that.
Wow.
He wrote
No.
I.O. Silverline.
Yeah.
And he
Scott
wrote
English, Ben Me Shake Me, Aim in Corner.
Yeah.
Bloke's a legend.
Blimey.
He's our friend as well.
Yeah.
We got
Nice
his
bloke.
friend.
Nice bloke.
Hey, American as well.
Mm.
Talking about America,
Isn't he?
I just,
You scare me
like
sometimes.
like you used to be centre forwards and the ball, and you just pick it down and bang, you'd head that ball down the pitch, or you know what I mean? I do that with ideas.
You forgot what you were
No,
saying.
I'm just scratching my head.
Yeah, look, come on,
I'm
keep
just
going. I'll paddle a bit. Tra-la-la-la-la.
I'm not. I love to see the kind of desperation in your eyes behind them glasses that I couldn't see out of. You know this thing that's gone up the America. I'm assuming it's America because it's NASA, isn't it? That's going around Mars and taking pictures of Mars.
Satellite.
It's no
Spaceship.
Is
Oh,
it no
yeah.
spaceship?
It's a spaceship, yeah.
It's a satellite, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You
No,
couldn't get
it's
a
not.
bloke in there, could you?
Yeah. No, I
You'd
think it
be
is a
too old,
spaceship.
wouldn't you?
I think it is a
No, I
spaceship.
don't think it is actually. I
Oh,
think
right.
it is. Well, it's something, right? And they've got a windscreen on it, and they found plankton on the windscreen. So that
Didn't we have this story last week?
no.
You sure?
No, I told you this.
Oh, right, okay.
I phoned you up and told you. And there was a word that I forgot what it is, because it's a really clever word that means that there must have been life on Mars, that plankton existed up there before it come down here. And when they've explored it all, it's going to throw the whole of humanity into a different dimension.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also...
The villa will still go down.
And they've also found a bone on the moon. Yeah, but what I want to know is, right, who threw the bloody thing and where's the dog?
Yeah. What type of bone is it?
I don't know. Could be any bone, couldn't it? Mind you, I hope West Midlands police don't get in and do the DNA, because when they had the bomb and they lost the bomb, they reckon the DNA is worthless after about 25 years.
Yeah.
So no chance.
Bullshit. Yeah, absolutely. Anyhow, we've got to have extra time, 30 minutes. You can't ask a professional football player to only play half time. Well, half time. It's like the golden goal rule. Well, you played 15 minutes each way, Geoff. There's 34 minutes.
We're
What?
going into injury time
Absolutely.
soon.
Absolutely. Injury time, I know enough about that.
Right. And the magic sponge. You don't get the magic sponge these
No,
days,
what
do you?
actually happens now? Because I think they just go straight off.
Yeah,
don't
they
they?
do.
Yeah.
They've only got to sneeze at them or something, and they're down
Well,
these days.
they
aren't
have 6 weeks off with a twisted sock, don't they? Really?
What would have exactly? What would have happened in your day? Because I mean, I was watching the United game, and Ashley Young was doing his usual salmon trick, and there are so many players that you've only got to get somewhere in the close. Well, you've only got to be in the same district, and they're over. In your day, a player doing that, you'd have probably picked him up and banged him one, wouldn't you?
Yeah, very simply, yeah. But in our day, someone like that, if you hit them, they stayed hit.
Yeah.
Because you could do that. You
Yeah.
could get away with that. Well, he wasn't getting away. It was part and parcel of the game.
Yeah.
But that's puts me off football.
Yeah.
No, I get bored with football now. It's we'll have it, especially the Premier League. We'll have it for 5 minutes, then we'll give it to you for 5 minutes, and then we'll score a goal, and we'll do a dance when we've done it, and in between we'll dive all over the place. It just I probably sound a bit bitter and twisted about it, but no, I think the previous decades football was, it's got to be a contact sport. There's got to be compassion. There's got to be passion. It's got to be competitive. I just don't know whether it is. And with 4 daughters in the house, we tend to have a cookery program on.
Oh, don't get me started with cooking. There should be music programmes on the television. Every other programme on the TV is a damn cookery programme. And I think that, the biggest export, apart from football, that we've given the world is music. And there's no music show on terrestrial television. I think it's a disgrace.
It is when you consider the amount of artists that we
Yeah.
produce and have produced over the years.
Yeah.
We're they have to go to America, don't they? to get viewed, really.
I think what they have to do, they have to largely sell out to some big conglomerate or go on a bloody X Factor.
Well, I was watching the Reading Leeds thing at the weekend, and the Arctic Monkeys headlined it. It was fantastic, I thought.
Yeah.
But they've had to move to LA.
Oh, have they?
To promote their business.
I think that might be a bit of the tax dodging scheme as well. But they've been caught up in quite a bit of that, ain't they, the Arctics?
Yeah.
No, I think there's a little bit of financial kind of incentive for these artists to, because I mean they've done ever so well. I mean they almost grew out the internet.
Yes.
Didn't they? I mean,
very underground, weren't they?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And I think without...
They're polished now, aren't they?
Yeah, but I think without the internet, there's very little, well, certainly few places, or if any, on the main TV and radio stations, because all the radio stations, they're all controlled, they're all safe, none of them will take a gamble. We're going to be playing out with Jessica Rhodes, who's one of my favourite artists. I think this girl, I mean, she's from Stratford-upon-Avon, again, such a soulful voice, she has got a massive future ahead of her. But sadly, again, there's a I love that word, reticence.
You do.
I think it's great.
And you're going to look it up in a bit and see what it means.
Look, it doesn't matter what it means. It just sounds brilliant. It sounds like the kind of...
It sounds as though you know what you're talking about.
It does, yeah. It's, it's like when people think you're in control.
The big word doesn't match your face.
I know, I've got such a small head. I look a right divvy hat. I can't wear that, I can't.
Nah.
Any kind of hat, just like
a peanut.
Oh, no,
no good in Peaky Blinders then.
It's coming back. Did you watch the...
Love it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. We've auditioned for it, haven't we?
We have.
We auditioned for it. No, did get in, did we?
Well, you see, most people ignore us. No, they do, don't they?
Yeah, and they completely ignore us.
There's the football world, there's the music world, there's like we're free radio. Everybody, the mate, everyone hates us, don't they? People say, like, where'd you get your funding from? Well, to be fair, we've pissed off that many people, haven't we? That nobody, like, gives us the time of day. But we love it, we ain't changing.
Nah.
Oh, well.
No.
We're 50. You're over 50. I'm almost 50. I ain't changing for no one. We talk up the people with talent that the big people won't, because they haven't got the cojones to do that, because their bosses are telling them they can't do that. Play One Direction. Like, no. I would never. I'll tell you what. I'd rather pack in than sell out. Yeah. And I would never sell out. I'll do this for nothing for the next 30 years of my life.
You've got to keep it pure.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Alright.
Are we...
yeah.
It's that time when it goes like this. Yeah. Have you seen his, what's it there? The idiot chart.
Sign the shirt.
Yeah. Because he forgets every week.
I know, yeah.
Mind you, we're saying that, we forget most of the show. We ain't gone to flipping...
We haven't done anything.
Where have we gone to? We haven't
gone to Lima at all, have we?
No, we didn't do Twitter talk. We done
nothing.
No,
we have to do a double Twitter next week.
Yeah. Where did we go down aeroplane today at the beginning of the show? Can you remember?
Lima.
Ah, well done. See, I'd forgot about that as well.
Lima.
Yeah. Right, it's time to say good night. God bless and thank you all for listening. Here's Jessica Rhodes.
Good night.
Thank you.
And thank you very much, Geoff.
Yeah.
Cheers. See you
man, Geoff.
Cheers, Geoff.
My pleasure.
Ta-ra.
Can't give in till you know what you got and you know where you've been. If you don't push for this, get what you came for. Was it worth the risk? If it's easy, your game, it's your shame. You respecting me and do the same. What would it take? What would it gain? So just walk away. I had you, don't need you. Living a day for day. It doesn't really just walk away. I had you, don't need you. Living a day for day. Sometimes you can't commit, so you know what you're in for, so you know where you sit. If you don't conquer this, take it or leave it, can you resist? If it's easy, your game, your shame. You respecting me, do the same. What would it take? What would it gain? So just walk away. for day. For day.